We're on Instagram Live today, right?
Yes, sir.
And Bianca will be with me momentarily. She's going out to, I think, bring a dog in or something. So I think we're going to talk today about introducing dogs to dogs, and we'll wait till Bianca gets here to get into that a little bit more. But I think let's talk a little bit about how we got to where we are with the business. Does that sound good, Brett?
That's okay.
So I trained my first dog in like 93, 94, bird dog. And then, I don't know, 28 years ago or whatever, I got into training cow dogs. And I've trained, I don't know how many of them, hundreds and hundreds of them. And I flew all over the country and drove all over the country to learn to train cow dogs from some of the best in the business. And I feel that sometimes that's what people miss when they're training their dogs, is try to, I don't know, to me it's find somebody that I look up to for what they can do with a dog, you know. And then it's a matter of how did they get to that point. And I think for a lot of trainers, that's the hardest part, is how do you get to where you want to be with training a dog. And for me to get to where I wanted to be with training a dog, after I trained my lab, I started training cow dogs, and I had some really nice cow dogs, and I gathered a lot of cattle, and I worked cow dogs and excuse me, here in Oregon and Washington and Montana and on some big ranches. And for me, it started out with the obedient part of my dogs. You know, I wanted them to lay down and stay and recall and be in my dog box in my truck and be quiet, you know, and not be barking in my kennels. And even my dog I had in the house years ago, you know, he had to behave. And then my wife's house dog was the same way. But for me to get to the point where I'm at with the training world was day in and day out training cow dogs. I mean, they were mostly my own cow dogs. Once in a while I'd train one for a buddy or something, but I didn't never have a kennel full of training dogs for other clients. When I'd done the cow dogs, I'd have 5 or 10 or 15 dogs of my own that I'd train, and then I'd just sell them all over the United States and Canada. And I think that it makes a lot of difference for me back in them days when I could take 4 or 5 or 8 dogs out to a training pen. And excuse me, normally I'd have them on a short chain of some type and have them laid in place, and they're on a barrel or whatever. And for the dog's safety, my safety, and my livestock safety, you know, just make sure one didn't break and come out and get in the middle of a training session when he shouldn't. But once I got to that point with the training the cow dogs, people kept on wanting me to help them with what I call fluffy dogs, you know, they're personal dogs that didn't work for a living. And for years I said no, I didn't want to do it. It just didn't work for me. I had a full-time job. Well, I built fence for a living there for the last 20 years. And so I was out building fence. I was roping, rodeoing a lot with kids, catching a lot of loose cattle, buying, selling some cattle. And then I just didn't have time for all the fluffy dog stuff, the people's personal house dogs. I don't remember what year it was, 6 years ago or whatever. I was on a road somewheres, and I was just, every day I was getting phone calls from people, how to fix this dog problem, how to fix that dog problem. And some of the people here local, some people are scattered across the United States, you know. People, a person or two in Canada would call me, and so I decided to start Marvin Pierce Dog Teacher. And once I started that, I still had my fence business going and having a hard time getting employees, so I finally just shut the fence business down. A kid that worked for me, that really young boy, he was going to leave. I helped him find a real good job in the concrete industry, and he was finishing up a job for me, and then he was going to move on to the other job. And he accidentally got killed in a motorcycle accident. And when he did, I just shut the business down. I felt it was a good opportunity for me just to walk away from it. And it took the wind out of my sail, because that kid was a really good kid. And me and my wife, everybody around here treated him like family. And it really hurt me when we lost him. So I just parked my equipment in the field and never went back and built no more fence. And So I just got into the Marvin Pierce Dog Teacher full steam at that time, and we haven't slowed down. And we went me and Dari to now I've got I don't know 5 or 6 people work for me, and we've trained I don't know how many hundreds of dogs or thousands of dogs. I don't know, a lot of dogs over the years, and so. But that's how we got to where we are now, and our biggest thing now is normally board and train, 3-week board and train. Bianca's come back to join us.
This is good timing because we got Bootsy and they're trying to join.
Oh, good.
Boots the dog is joining.
Bootsy cutesy.
So Bianca's back live with us now. Bianca, I've just been talking about how I got to where I'm at in dog training.
Oh, okay.
So I waited for the main,
Subject?
debate or whatever we're going to have.
It's not a debate.
Yeah, my headache's about gone now, so we can go for it.
Okay.
I can try a couple different things to be able to hear their audio because I have a couple things running.
You what?
So
now?
is she with us?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
They're hearing the request to get through. So.
Okay.
So Bianca, you brought a dog in?
Yeah. I remembered what dog it was once I saw it. Moriah and I did the meet and greet.
Huh?
Is Brianna with Andre? Bootsy?
Yeah.
Okay. Because they're both wanting to jump in, so it's going to be.
I don't know how it works, so y'all
We don't either.
hear y'all's conversation, or
And I'm guessing Brett will have to repeat their questions to us.
Oh, really?
Because we can't hear them, you know? Right?
True, I can't hear it anyway, so I dang sure can't hear them.
I think it's connected now.
So our subject this morning is going to be introducing dogs to dogs, right, Bianca?
It says Bootsy Cutesy is going live now with Marvin Pierce Dog Teacher.
Hey, welcome.
Hey.
So, do we want to start? Morning. Oh, morning.
Okay, so Andre's driving. Or sorry, no, he's not. He's not driving. He's not driving. He's with us. I think he's with us. I think he hear you. He waved.
Okay.
I think you can hear him too.
We can hear them, or you can?
You can hear him. I can hear him too. I'll relay and you can hear him.
Okay. So we have Andre and Brianna here.
Boots.
And Boots. Boots is the dog. And they have a great question that is not a simple answer. And we're going to dive into everything that goes into answering this question.
This question could have been heard debated on the way to get her coffee. Actually, on the way back. And,
Well, let's say what the subject is.
well, the subject is introducing your dogs that has had problems
With dogs.
with dogs. That is dog fought, drags you down on a leash, trying to get the dog, trying to bounce off the dog, your front door, you run over your house, the dog will lie. Whatever the case may be, but it's dog aggression towards another dog. Not human, but I think Boots bit people too, but we'll leave that out of it.
Yeah, it's not entirely related to what
Well,
we're doing.
it's kind of, for me, kind of is, but
Can you talk louder than normal?
Yeah.
we need to talk about it.
Yeah. Louder than normal.
We don't control that. So, we need to get the
Is it
microphone.
because of the car noise?
Yes.
You
And
can mute his audio and then do we have and the audio?
yes, it will.
Okay, is it it's the car audio?
Yep, it's
Can
on
you
there.
mute that?
I think so. Can I mute it? Is that what
I
you're?
don't have any idea. But I think we should probably
I can't change that from here. I can't control. That's not like Zoom. That's not the
Can
issue.
we take okay.
So can they hear us okay or no?
They can hear you, but you have to speak louder than normal.
So what are we worried about hearing? The other audience or just them?
I
Just
can't
send it.
actually hear very well, I think because of the car. Andre, can you mute yourself?
Stop, shut it off. probably only 120 degrees down there, and we're like 45.
If this was like Zoom, then I could like do that. You know, I could pick somebody out. Sorry. They don't know this. I'm not too familiar with it.
Yeah, we've not done this.
So, well, how about, do you all mind if we cut it and they just ask questions and we'll answer the whole
Well,
question?
There we go.
Brianna's not making noise.
There we go.
It's just Andre.
There you go.
We're good
No,
now?
I'm not
Yep.
going to say cut him.
Can you hear them better now?
Yeah, are we better? Or did you cut them off? They're gone.
No, that's good.
Can
Thumbs
she
up.
hear us?
We got a thumbs up.
Cool. Thumbs up.
So we can't hear them, or can
Yeah,
we?
because they're muted because we asked
Oh,
them to
both
mute
of
the
them are
sound.
muted. Okay, got it.
Then
Well,
what?
we didn't, Brianna wasn't noisy, was she?
Well, she's muted too.
Oh, okay.
So we can't hear neither one of them.
You can, and if you're not asking questions, are you asking a question right now for them to hear you?
Are they
Mhm.
or us?
You need to ask a question so they can hear you because you're just talking right now. They can hear your audio.
So you can hear us now, and we're sounding okay? Is that what you're
Yep, they
asking
gave you a
us?
thumbs up.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I
we
can
can't
hear you now.
Now they're unmuted so you can hear them.
Okay.
They're unmuted.
Okay.
Good deal.
We're live.
Man, this is complicated for me. I can't
Hey, we'll
hear
do this 5 more times, we might figure it out. Okay, so today's question is introducing a dog that has had dog aggression or reactivity.
I've been in a bad dog fight, period. I mean, right? I think it's a lot different. Because Boots has been in dog fights, right?
Mhm.
I'm not trying to talk over you, but I was asking you a question. Leash aggression can,
A dog that has had any dog aggression or reactivity, whether it be a fight or what do you want to talk about?
well, I mean, I think it's kind of maybe two different subjects. Maybe I'm wrong. Because we see a lot of dogs that come here that are really leash reactive, and we let them with dogs and they're okay.
Boots got into a dog fight.
That's what I'm saying. So we have
No,
Boots.
I'm asking, did she get into a dog fight?
Well, I thought she did. I don't know that, but
I don't think
we
that
should.
she did. I think they kept her away from
We
dogs.
can ask her. We can
So
ask them.
has Boots been in a bad dog fight or no?
Not specifically with us. Oh, Andre says one. I mean, there's been moments where she could have been,
Yeah.
but
I think they mostly prevented it.
So she's
Yeah.
never been in a dog fight?
No, he said that she was in one.
Yes. And so that's, for me, kind of where it goes from just leash reactive to actually dog fighting, you know?
Okay.
And I feel that for me, sometimes it makes a difference on where we're at on us introducing the dogs back to dogs, correct?
I think it might make a difference for what we would do, but what we're gonna tell the people to do, to me, it wouldn't make a difference. If a dog hasn't been in a dog fight, but it's extremely leash reactive, I would treat it as such, that it would get in a major dog fight.
So how would you introduce it, or are you asking me how I would introduce it?
No,
or how
I'm-
should they introduce it?
I'm letting you roll with it. I think maybe we're on 2 different subjects.
I think we kind of always are, you know,
For sure.
but we end up at the same destination.
Yeah.
You just take the slow route and I get there.
Okay.
Not really, but sometimes you're in the left lane. But for me, anytime I have a dog that's leash reactive to another dog, the first thing I like to do, and I feel people should do with their dogs, is get control of your dog. Am I right?
That's a very general. This is gonna be a debate between you and I, because I know what I want you to say, and you won't say it because you're
Why
afraid
don't you
people will
say
get
what
trouble.
I want to say?
Because you like to lead the podcast.
Well, but I feel that for
I don't
me,
have time for it.
yeah, we got an hour. We'll try to get there. Like I said, where she just takes a slow route, and I get
Marvin,
there.
if you say I take the slow route and you go fast, I'm gonna hit you with this book on Instagram.
Well, I don't have to say it. It's on audio. No, I feel that I am probably the one who goes slower at introducing most dogs to dogs. because I always, and I, I want.
Trying not to say it's just so
No.
hard.
No, what I'm trying to say is, and I mean, knock on wood. Somebody told me the other day I need to knock on wood because I said something stupid. And I feel that if I can get my dog or your dog, client's dog, whose ever dog, to where it really respects me, I can really control the dog, heeling even on a leash, recalling every time I call it. Then I can go look through my kennels to what dog do I want to introduce my leash aggressive dog to.
They don't have kennels to look through.
Well, I know, and that's what makes it so hard. And you see people go to the dog parks. I mean, I hear about it. I don't see it. I don't go to dog parks, but unless I'm walking by training a dog. But you see them go out there with that leash aggressive dog, and they'll turn them loose in a playground at the dog park, and they play.
But more often than not, that turns into a fight.
Yes, but I don't know.
More often than not, that's.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're not recommending you do that.
No, I don't recommend you do most of what I'm saying. That's why me and Miyaka have been debating about it, is because it's not as easy as it seems to get your dog back with a pack of dogs. Like with Boots right now. I can take Boots out with dogs and I don't worry.
That doesn't matter. I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
I know. But if we could get Brianna and Andre to swipe the bad memories out of their mind.
Okay, so first thing that you want them to do, maybe not in this order, but the first actionable item is to work on their
dog's recall,
emotional
respect,
response.
and then the dog. And then
I'm not putting it in order. Stay on the one that you started. The first thing that you mentioned is the human's emotional response.
For sure, if you go out there knowing you're going to get a dog fight, and somebody the other day told me they can't
have to know.
Well, people the other day told me they just can't get rid of that thought, on whatever we were trained on. I don't remember what it was,
Yeah.
But that's a lot of it. Is for me, it's always been when I play darts, rope, work dogs. It's a mental game,
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much in life that is a mental game. And I think that when you go to reintroduce your dog to dogs, you've got to have a good mindset. You can't just have your dog dragging you on a leash for 30 minutes and then turn him loose.
Do you think Boots drags him on a leash for 30 minutes?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Where
are you going with that one?
I would think, no, I'm just talking people in general.
Oh.
I don't think Boots, from what I see, I don't even see Boots full on a leash.
Me either.
Yeah. So I feel that they have that part, and I think they have really good control on Boots,
Uh-huh.
Every time I see him, Boots is doing good. I mean, she rolls on her back, once she rub her belly. She don't pull him on a leash. Now, for me, you've got to go to the mind part of it if you have that part down to get your mindset good. And then for me, have your tools.
Solid, reliable obedience.
Yes, if you're going to go back out there with a dog that's ornery, and I think you've really got to have your tools on your dogs. And for me, I always want my dogs.
You want people to be prepared with their tools.
Yes, and make sure your tools are working. Don't just put your e-collars on your dogs and turn them loose, and then get in a dog fight. I went out here the other day and I turned the dog loose. It wasn't no dog fighting issues, but I turned the dog loose and then I couldn't catch the dog. And then when I did catch the dog, I found out that morning, whatever, somebody had turned the controller on, but they didn't turn the e-collar on. But the e-collar was on my dog and it was ready to go out. So I took my dog out and turned it loose and I couldn't catch it.
You should check your tools.
I should, and that's what I'm saying here. Everybody should check your tools. Especially if someone else has handled them, like here, if I'm holding the e-collar incorrectly and people around here see it and they see the controller, they're going to use it on me. So if you go out with your dogs or dog, you want to, like I said earlier, have a good mindset. Make sure your dog's respecting you really well. Have your tools on your dogs. Make sure your tools is working. And then you got to find a dog.
Well, Before we get farther, can I ask some questions about
For
these?
sure.
Okay, so you want, oh, she has a question.
No, just check in with them if they have any thoughts. That was
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of a lot, right?
Be welcome to add your own. We'd love for you to add your own questions to this.
Oh, for
I
sure.
have some for you that I'll add, but if you have questions, just pop in. Brett will interrupt us if we hear you. So for the human's emotional response, what are things a dog owner can work on to help them be more resilient from that trauma?
Probably the next step is to have your dog so obedient that it just, for me, it almost knows what you want before you ask.
Okay, so then that's where I was headed too. So if you feel your obedience is so reliable and it's so solid, where should you go to test that?
Well, for me, I go anywhere that my dog's going to get in trouble. Like if it's boots, I would go to the most high energy dog area I could find.
And I want to make a disclaimer here because we like disclaimers. You don't go from the house in your yard to the most high stimulating environments. You're going to work your way up. But if you've been working your way up, you've got to find a place that might get her in trouble and then feel confident you can get her to listen.
For me, I think that it's so, if it was me with boots, the place I would go to is dog park. There was a high energy, high drive, ball playing, frisbee throwing, and I would have my dog on a leash. I would have all my tools on my dog, and I would go right by the dog pen. I wouldn't stay there and aggravate my dog per se, you know. But I might get 40, 50 feet away and make my dog lay down, especially in Florida where sun shines. I might sit on a bench or on the grass and make my dog lay down there.
So you would see if you can pass the dog park that's really busy with a lot of action going on without any problems.
For
and
sure.
Then you would go away from that threshold and have the dog relax.
Yeah, I just lay down and play on my phone or pet my dog or read my book or whatever I want to do.
And all of those interactions, you should be observing your dog's behavior
For
and
sure.
see if they're going from on to off.
Yes, and you should be able to control it. And for me, it's always, I'm walking my dog, and this is me and my dog, and if I'm going by that dog park, my dog's going to want to look at that dog's playing in there and wishing they could go play. But my dog can look, but it's got to come back with me, you know. And then it just can't keep bouncing. You know, once it gets a look at the dogs, then it needs to get hooked back up and let's go.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to take, I feel that you could take Boots there right now, and I kind of feel that Boots would probably pass these tests to see how Boots is doing. From what I've seen of Boots, and I've seen y'all at the dog at the walks with us and stuff, I feel that Boots could go there, you know.
And we do turn Boots right out when she comes.
Yeah, we like this last time. I think I didn't turn her out. I don't even remember why. I don't remember if I was, for what reason, but I don't think I turned her out. And I told them that when they picked her up. I was hoping they'd bring her back, but it goes back to if you prepare yourself with all these things. You got any more questions about those?
No, not yet.
So, Brett, do they have any questions?
You guys have any questions?
Thought they were going
Yeah, I was
Go for it.
I was wondering, like, particularly introducing Boots to my best friend's dog, who's been really good with other dogs, but just like, what are the first steps or safety precautions we should do? I know, like, research has been like, walk them on a leash, kind of on different sides of the street, and then kind of get closer when they're kind of used to each other. But I was just trying to pick your brain about what would you do with introducing dogs like Boots to other dogs?
It's great to have someone that you know that has a dog, because you can get to know that dog a little better. And then I know that's where Marvin is headed next, is we have a lot of questions that you'll have for that dog. So we'll get into that part next, right?
Well, for me, it kind of depends on that dog's attitude. What's that dog like? I thought I heard him say it was a pretty cool dog.
He said it's really good with dogs, but I always have questions when someone says
What type
that.
of dog is it? How big is it? Has it ever been in a dog fight? Does it drag him down when it sees a dog? You know, for me, if the dog, and I done it here with a lady, I don't know, I was just being stupid in no stupid zone, but she had a dog that was really bad, you know, leash pulling, and she'd been to another trainer, and it was a German Shepherd, and they couldn't get it, I don't know, 50 feet, I don't know, yada, 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 kept on, and I kind of got aggravated, which I try not to do, and I asked her if I could handle it. It was a young dog, like a year old, and it was just lunging at these dogs, and the lady had it, you know, and so I got her dog from her, she let me have it, and then I had somebody bring in another dog, and her dog started lunging, and I got it settled down with a slip leash on it. And 10 minutes later, I was walking her dog and my dog, one on each side. Excuse me. And so, like you, if this dog is not an aggressive dog, if it's a cool dog, I don't know. You've got to use your own gut feeling sometimes. But it sounds like your gut feeling is that dog could be cool, and we want nothing more than for Boots to have a buddy to hang with and run with. You know, any dog, it's fun to see a dog have a dog buddy, but they all can't. Boots could. But for me, I would just have those people walk right alongside of you. I would, if you
Yeah,
can.
I wouldn't start on the opposite
No, I
sides
wouldn't
of
at
the
all.
street.
As long as the other dog's good. As long as the other dog.
What does it mean that the other dog is good?
Well, it's not dragging the people on the leash, the owners. It's not dragging them to your dog. You know, you see so many people introduce dogs on too tight leashes. I just seen it the other day, and I thought the one dog was going to kill the other dog. And it's like, holy shit, you know. But there's so many times you can take Boots and that leash pulling dog and turn them loose together, and they'll go play and live happily ever after. So, like I said, it's a gut feeling, you know. Sometimes it's like, how bad is this leash pulling dog? Why is it pulling on a leash? Does it only want a friend, or is it wanting to fight? You know, I go a lot of times by dogs come here if they have another dog in their household and they don't fight. We can normally get them out with our good dogs.
Yeah, but we don't rely
But
on
we
that.
don't. No, but we don't always do it because sometimes we don't get the whole story for 2 or 3 weeks after a dog's been here. So
Not just that, you could have a totally neutral dog at home, and then we introduce it to a high energy dog that wants to play in roughhouse, and bam, you have a fight.
And exactly, but that's what I'm saying. For us and what we do don't always work for other people. But if I had Boots and this dog, I would walk them side by side, and I might have both owners in between the dogs, have one on outside of each human, you know, and then I would move one dog inside the two of you, one dog outside, and I move both dogs inside and keep separated. And then
out of striking distance and both on a loose leash.
yes, and then I would end up walking both dogs together. I'd have one dog on each side of me, and I would take off walking. But I would have a mission. I wouldn't be walking there. Oh, are they going to fight? Are they going to fight? Are they going to fight? I'm like, damn, I got to get down and get Bianca's coffee because she's going to be mad if it's hot, I guess, not cold. But I'm going on a mission. I'm going on a walk, and I'm taking my dogs with me. I'm not going to dilly-dally around and let them want to try to get to one another to play, and you may mistake it for a fight. I don't, you know, you always have the options if you're really uncomfortable with Boots, to muzzle Boots. Boots is muzzle trained really well. I never hardly introduce two dogs with a muzzle.
Unless they're both muzzled.
Yeah,
it's
it's not saying yay or nay. I just don't like it, you know. I don't know.
I think sometimes a dog feels like they
feel
have
threatened,
no defense, and that takes some of their confidence away.
Yes, and so I just really don't like doing that. But like I said, if you and with you know, maybe put your little long line on both dogs if you're going to turn them
I would
in
for
a
sure.
area.
Yeah.
And you don't want to get in there and try to break them up if they get in a fight. You know, have your long line so you can get them apart or whatever. But I feel that Boots is doing so well with the two of you that if you just ground her down hard, she'd probably back off anyway. But just don't let them sniff, you know, too long. For me, we got a big dog here, Ozzy from Newberry Shelter. Now I take him out with dogs, he does really well. If I took him out with the wrong dog at first, he would have got in a bad dog fight because he wouldn't quit sniffing Mari, my black lab. And I finally got him to quit. But Mari kept tolerating it, and Mari kept running to me because she knew I would protect her, you know, and make him quit. And so Boots, you kind of want to do the same thing, you know. I feel that for me, if I can't growl my dog into listening to me about, I'm probably not just going to bail in and turn them loose, you know. And that's my personal opinion. I know there's a million one trainers that don't even know what I'm talking about. They don't do that. That's fine. Whatever they do works, it works. But any dog that I have that I want to turn loose with dogs, I want to try to take my time with it. I'm going to make sure that they're e-collar trained, they heel, they recall, and they know if I growl at them a little bit, they're fixed to get in trouble. They need to like calm themselves down, change their energy level. And I go from there with them. And then the other dogs, you know, the hardest part about, well, if it's a friend of yours and it's their dog, then, and you know the dog, it makes life a whole lot easier for you to introduce the dogs. And I mean, we're excited to hear when you do, if you do it, how it goes, because it really make us happy to know Boots got a buddy in Florida that she can run and hang out with. So, do y'all have any, does anybody have any questions, Brett, or anybody else on that?
I have a lot.
Everybody's listening.
Yeah, I
I
have a question. I appreciate everything that you've said, and I want to go back to what Bianca, what you brought up. Well, both of you brought it up about just the emotional state of us. If you all remember, Andre's pretty good and calm and grounded, but I'm the one that tends to get anxious, and I've been working on that. But even the idea of introducing them kind of freaks me out a little bit. So if you have any thoughts about that, or like, would it be best for Andre and the other dog owner, because he's also really chill too. I feel like the two of them together, like maybe I shouldn't be in the picture at first, and then, but I'm curious if you have any tools for someone like me.
couldn't hear what she said.
Okay, she was asking, she said what we were thinking, but she said it, that Andre's more calm in those situations and she's more
I
anxious.
100% agree. He might
So
be,
she
you know,
said, what tools can she do to help her with that? And then she also asked if the first time, if she should maybe not be in the picture.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%. And I just told a client at the other day also that there's times if we have a really a dog, and I'm sure we've done it with Boots too, but if we have a really dog that people are really having problems with, wanting to be leash reactive dog fighting or whatever. Remember little Fenway came here with a muzzle on? I sent that lady videos with Fenway with his muzzle off, and I sent that lady videos with Fenway with dogs with his muzzle off before she ever came and seen her dog. Just so I could
she
build her
could see
confidence.
that it was,
yes.
All right.
And it's the same thing with you and Boots. If you maybe stay home, you know, don't hide behind a bush and, oh my God, it'll fight, you know, just sometimes stay home. Let him take Boots out, and he can't lose focus on what he's doing, but he can video it or have someone to video it, you know, that's neutral, and show you the videos that Boots can do. And that's, for me, always a confidence builder, you know, or I feel it should be anyway, because I feel you're so much better with Boots now than you were, you know. So you just want to keep building that confidence up. All right, Bianca.
Okay.
She got 99 questions.
One other thing we added was to drag a long line, which is, I think, a house line like 14 feet that you can grab the line and you don't have to chase them around if they get into trouble. Just be prepared. I have questions.
If I'm going to do that with a long line on my dog and I have the e-collar on my dog, me personally, I will move my e-collar right up behind my dog's ears. I'll make sure it's fitting really well. I'll make sure it's making contact. And I will put probably a martingale.
Yeah, not a pinch
below
collar.
it. And then I'll put my long line on the martingale.
Not
in
put
case
the
I need to
long
get them out.
line on the pinch
And
collar.
my martingale will be pretty snug.
Yeah, so it can't slip off.
Yes, and
You
then
test
that way when I pull it, I can put a little bit of pressure on my dog.
Okay. I have questions about the other dog and the other person, and this is for me because I have had a dog that was dog aggressive around me. I don't know that he really wanted to fight dogs so bad if I wasn't present, but he surely wanted to fight dogs when I was present. I had a terrible emotional response, And then I also have a dog that I don't have a terrible emotional response, but she just wants to fight a bitch once in a while, you know? So
She got screws.
oh, that's not nice. She will dog fight, not over me, but just because Martin says she has screws.
Yeah, thanks, yeah.
So if I was gonna get my dog that is resource guardian of me, he's not anymore, but was resource guardian of me around other dogs, I had like a list of things to be prepared with. The other dog, does it recall? Can you call it to you? If it's my friend's dog, can you call it? And I had the Danes that I got my dog with, but she did recall, and she could recall her dogs. Rough play. If I have a dog that I'm rehabbing from dog aggression, most of the time it's either anxious around other dogs or it wants to fight. And if you let two dogs loose together and one is dog aggressive and it immediately goes to, let's play, let's go, you have a chance of having a fight.
A big chance.
Yeah.
Or sniffing.
Yeah.
Sniffing too long. Or
Being
putting your paw over
too
the other
invasive
dog.
in each other's space.
Or going up and landing your dog's head over the other dog's shoulders.
Yeah.
Those
So,
things are all stopped and stuff.
we have some dogs that will play, and if we get a dog aggressive dog out and one of our dogs tries to get that dog to play, we'll be like, oh, give him some space and advocate for the dog that's uncomfy. So the other dog should have a pretty good recall, shouldn't be all about rough, obnoxious play. I'd love for the dog to have some neutrality, you know, where it can chill out and not always have to go, and exactly what you're saying, run over and put a paw and slap it and hump it and all that stuff. Those are things I would want to know about the dog. Then hang on, let me get this little snippet. The other person has to be emotionally stable as well. Because if I'm getting my dog, who's an ex-convict, out with your baby, and you're gonna cry and be super emotional and scream if there's a minor incident, the humans are gonna make any incident worse.
Yes.
So that's a lot of factors, which is why Marvin doesn't like to say do X, Y, Z, because there's so much involved.
The biggest thing that we forgot, and I mean this for me is the biggest thing that I feel you need to do, is Boots needs to leave when you say go.
Leave your space.
Bubble.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make Boots leave your bubble, then you got some homework to do before you let the other dog in. Yeah. And to test that for me, you know, is, and I don't know how easy it'll be for you to get Boots to go away when you ask her, because you've done such a good job of keeping her out of trouble. But I think that for you, and do we have videos on the internet of that?
Yes, I think we do. Yeah.
So I'm not sure where they are, but
YouTube.
Do you know just on YouTube?
Yeah.
Are they titled?
I don't think we have them titled as Go.
I don't feel confident that we have that, what you're looking for.
Yeah, but if we don't, it's, you know, for me, and
we can make a video today with Tilly and
we got plenty of dogs around to work with.
And I would talk about examples of that.
Yeah, for both of you, for me, one of you stand, you know, you stand 30 foot apart if you have a place you can take your dog off leash or on a long line. And you call your dog to you and you make her sit and you pat her and then you tell her to go. She needs to walk away from you. And if she won't walk away from you, we do it. We have a
tether
pulley system on the wall that we can put a long line through, and we can work with it by ourselves. We don't need another person. But if you have the two of you and you have a 15-foot leash, you put your dog approximately 14 feet from you, and you call the dog to you, and it comes to you, and you tell it to go, and then it should go. And then whenever it gets away from you, you can tell her to down, you know, or you can pull the dog for the other person, whatever works for you to get the dog away from you. But my goal is, as soon as my dog starts to leave good, I'm not going to be good, girl. You just jump the moon and she's going to run right back and get a hug. I'm just going to say good because she knows that good's done the right thing, and I'll get my distance from her.
Basically, you should be able to, by command, tell your dog to go away.
Yes, because if you are not careful and you let Boots loose and you let the other dog loose, and the other dog runs over to you to get a hug and a cheeseburger, and Boots is going to fly in there, and if you ain't careful, you could have trouble. But if you start out with, don't let the other dog come to you, and don't let Boots come to you. Make them stay out there and play, walk around, sniff one another a little bit, whatever they want to do. For me, don't get a ball, a bone, a frisbee, any kind of tug ropes, and let them start playing with toys. Don't add toys in it. For me, if you've got a spot where you can turn loose and you can do it, just turn loose and take off walking. Just move.
If you stay in motion and you don't let the dogs or the people freeze up, you're less likely to have rigid air.
Yes.
And then, I don't know if you said this one already, but basic rules: don't pet, love on, or get the dogs excited.
Keep them away from you.
You're trying to keep arousal at a minimum, have them hang out and be neutral, not have things get escalated. You want it to be neutral. Then you said no toys, and no items for a potential fight.
Yes, nothing. No,
I would not take them to a squirrel field and then find out if they're going to fight over a squirrel or chasing one. And then I want you to talk about the location, and I also want you to talk about, what breed is the dog?
Because I asked him about earlier, but I never heard.
It's an Australian Shepherd.
Australian
Shepherd.
About 8 years old. 8 years old.
It's what?
8 years? Or 8 months?
8 years
old.
Okay.
And if it's a cool dog and they ain't been in a dog fight and you make Boots be good, and like Bianca said there, don't let them have toys and don't freeze up. Try to move. Take them on a nice little walk or something. Keep them moving around, and don't let either dog come to either owner and start hugging on you. And if the German Shepherd, for me anyway, I expect Boots to be the better of the two dogs, but I don't know the other dog. But if the German Shepherd wants to go to mommy or daddy or whoever it is, then you make Boots stay away from those people until you've established a good relationship with the dog. Because that's what will get you in trouble. If that German Shepherd's a little bit sticky with his people and don't want to leave his people, and you're all trying to get these two dogs to play, and then Boots goes to those people, then you can have a bad dog fight. So for me, there's no reason for Boots to go to them, and there's no reason for their dog to come to y'all until you've kind of got a neutral relationship.
Yeah, we want you to be able to recall the dogs away from each other, but we want both of you to be able to send them away too, so that they don't recall to you and get glued up.
But if you do either or both, you won't get near as much trouble. If you don't let Boots go to them, if their dog blues up and they can't control their dog, you're okay. Keep Boots away from them.
Yeah.
And I feel confident that the two of you will be able to send Boots. If you can't, then you've got a little bit of homework to do. It'll be easy to do. We'll show you some videos. We'll try to remember to make them today.
Yeah.
So you can make Boots get away from you. I would make sure those people have a long line on their dog and they don't let their dog come and hang out with you personally until y'all got a routine going.
Yeah.
Marvin, if it matters, it's Australian Shepherd.
I think the breed does matter.
Instead of German Shepherd, they said it's Australian Shepherd that's 8 years old. That has any difference to what you're saying.
I think the breed matters because of play styles and reading each other's body language. So part of the reason, again, that Marvin wants to make sure there's enough disclaimers on this is if you put a herding breed out with a bully breed that wants to wrestle and roughhouse, and the herding breed is chasing, and the bully breed turns around to wrestle and roughhouse, they sometimes just misunderstand each other.
Well,
and you have to watch their body language and watch how carried away they're getting, and keep it calm down and keep it more neutral.
I agree with everything Bianca just said.
Except.
No, I'm just going to add. No, I'm not at all. I'm just going to add some things. I'm going to add some simple rules. The Australian Shepherd doesn't come to Boots' mommy and daddy. Boots' mommy and daddy don't go to the Australian Shepherd's people.
Yeah.
And they do like you said, the dogs can't roughhouse. We talked about that earlier. they just can't start off beating and bouncing and chewing and chasing and
Or chasing where
healer.
one's running and
Yeah.
one's chasing and it's not equal play.
If they don't swap out and take turns chasing and playing, and it's not, for me, it's not chasing and playing, it's annoying a dog.
It's a dog getting chased.
Your Australian Shepherds,
Yeah.
cattle dogs, stock dogs, border collies, heelers, kelpies, all above. Some of them have a tendency to nip at dogs' heels, or people.
Yeah.
You can't let that happen. If you got an 8-year-old Australian Shepherd that you can walk on the streets and stay out of trouble, you've done pretty good.
Yeah, no
You know?
kidding.
So evidently, I feel that they've done a pretty good job with it all. So
Okay, so I have one more topic that you haven't talked about. Where would you do it?
man, it's always different for me when you say, where can you go? It's always how good a dog do you have,
Yeah.
If you have a dog, and I'm really holding you to a high standard with Boots. I feel that you could recall Boots off anything now. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's the question.
Shaking their head, yes.
Yes, okay. So then your places where you take Boots is not limited to people who can't really control their dog. Let's say the Australian Shepherd, for instance. Let's say they can control their dog except if it sees a squirrel or a cat that runs away. Well, that's kind of on them. They should do some more training. But you can call Boots back, and Boots won't chase that dog off into trouble, or you know what I mean. So, and we really want Boots to win with this dog, So if there's something we can do to help y'all with that dog, let us know. We'll be glad to answer questions about it since you live in Florida, or the dog does. But you can't really take your dog. Well, for me, an ideal place would be a fenced-in area that's fairly big, so you can move and keep your dogs from gluing up with you. You don't want to do it in your little bitty backyard, so I wouldn't anyway so quickly, because then you're on one of your dogs' property. I would rather go neutral and go somewhere that's not home, and start there with your dogs and try to get these dogs together in an open area. I mean, if you have a big field and they can really control their German Shepherd or Australian Shepherd, and there's not other dogs there or people to really get you in trouble, I'd do it right there in the open field. I mean, it wouldn't bother me at all. So.
Okay, so I want to go back to Brianna was talking about the human's emotional response. I know this is like not dog training related, but it really is.
Well, for sure, it totally is.
And I will throw myself under the bus, be vulnerable, and say that my anxiety with my dogs was a major hurdle, and it still sneaks out.
Well, it still sneaks out with you. Now it's more like with the client's dog that had your dog's problem. You kind of like feel for the client a lot more because you've been there.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah. But I think these things are completely related. If Brianna wants to get Boots out with dogs, she's got to lower her cortisol levels, which I do by exercising and lifting weights. Sleep. I would not get your dog out with a dog on a night you had 2 hours of sleep. And when you go into a situation that stresses you out, you're practicing.
You gotta take deep breaths. I mean, that's
and having your shoulders back and down and breathing. And then, well, this is what you were saying has made me better, is exposure therapy. If you're uncomfortable in any situation with Boots, you have to do it more. You have to do it more, and then if something goes backwards, you have to do it again right away.
And always,
right away.
Always for me.
Safely.
Yeah, and I've said it so much that if I was out building the fence in 40-degree rain in crossways and come home, and this was back when I cow dogged all the time, I had my cow dogs trained. I didn't go train my dogs, and I trained them in that weather all the time, so don't think it's because of the weather. I mean, I trained my dogs in snow and everything else, but if I'm just in a pissed off mood, I'm not going to go train my dog.
Definitely not going to put him in a high stress situation.
I'll take him out and pet him, I'll make them lay by me and be good while I pet them, whatever.
Except for with if a person is emotionally anxious with a dog, you shouldn't be having that intimate time with them if you want them to not pick
You
up
should
on that
train
so
on
much.
them or
Yeah.
something. You
Yeah.
shouldn't
Yeah.
sit there and cuddle
You
them.
getting your dog out, petting on them, loving on them is
The
different
big dog
than
we got in here this morning, Diesel, you see how he just come over and nudged on my hand and wanted me to pet him?
Yes.
He's like, hey, let's be friends. What was it, 2 days ago? He wanted to eat my ass.
Not too yesterday.
Yeah, maybe yesterday. But he's trying, and not saying he ain't going to today, but he's a 107-pound Rottweiler puppy that's only like 13 months old. But the thing is, for me, is I can't go to him and get him out when I'm all wound 440 and wanting to kick a rock, you know, because
It
I
would
just
make
lost
him
a poker
uncomfortable.
game. Yeah, it wouldn't be a good environment. And I want both of you to be able to do this with Boots. And I'm confident that you can. It's just a matter of you finding the right people
The right dog.
with the right dog,
Yeah.
and then start out the right way and don't be a no. And you're not in a crazy hurry because we've known you a couple of years and you had done it. So.
Another thing I would say is don't get carried away. If it goes well, cut it before it escalates and do it again. And then don't get too comfortable. If you have 8 visits and it does really well, don't start playing on your phone and have a setback because it sets the people back way more than it does the dogs.
Yeah, that's what bothers me sometimes when we do lessons and stuff is we will, and people pay us, you know, so it's not that we're not getting paid, but when we're working with a dog and people's on their phones, it aggravates me. You get out of it what you put in it, but if you're going to do this with Boots, I would pick a cool day, make sure your other dog's owners are on board with you.
Yeah.
Get you a couple of long lines. Don't let your long lines get tangled around your dog's leg and then jerk them real hard where they're going to pinch your dog's leg and then he's going to fight a dog. Or don't use your e-collars on them when they're right there trying to kiss and say hi, you know, because they can always fight. If for me, even if the Australian Shepherd's trying to nip at Boots' heels, I probably wouldn't use the e-collar at that second. I'd be like, no, and try to make it quit, you know. Use a long line, step on it or something just to break his distraction. Don't call him all the way back to you. Just let him go ahead and play.
I have like a nervous tick that has built over time that when I'm not sure of the dog's body language, but I don't want to jump in and accuse him of a fight and get after him yet, I whistle.
Yes.
And it just comes out. I don't even mean to do it. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I want to try and break the silence in the air. And rather than going straight to just growling at Boots the whole time, sometimes you have to clap your hands or do something else.
Yeah, do something to break it, and I'll just whistle at them.
Yeah.
And they'll usually turn and look and they go on like you said. It's just something to break the distraction of what they're trying to get themselves into. Yeah. Brett, got any questions?
You guys have any thoughts? No, not right now. No questions.
So nobody else asked a question on this topic?
No.
Man, that's pretty wild.
Not at the moment.
So, Bianca, do you got anything you want to add to it?
I don't think so. I'm sure there's 50 million things I would add, but there's only so much you can teach in an hour, you know.
And I feel it's such a good subject. I think it went really well. I'm really happy with the whole subject because it's so, if you got an old dog and a young dog, we'll touch on that real quick. How's that?
Okay.
Because that gets people in so much trouble. Let's say Joe Bob has an 8-year-old dog that's lazy, and you've got a 1-year-old cow dog like Rebel or Bear. Well, Bear's lazy kind of now, but back in his day. And those dogs are doing 90 miles an hour, and this old dog just wants to take a nap. And you're like, come on, and you let your puppy go over and just pounce on it. You might end up with a dog fight.
Yeah.
So you've always got to really make sure you figure it out, you know. And sometimes the old dog might want to play and the young dog don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lot of times it's their play style because you can have a young dog that doesn't want to play and romp, and an older dog that does. Yeah.
Or if you've got a dog, let's say Cash, how cool Cash is. Who was it we put him out with the other day? He about shit his pants and wanted to hide in the hole.
Zelda.
Yeah, Zelda.
Because Zelda got a little carried away.
He was scared to death of that dog. I'm not going to. Of course, Bianca, she grabbed the baby and ran.
I did not. I wasn't even in the same field. You made that up.
But I'm not going to let Zelda keep. If she was only playing, she wasn't being mean at all. But I'm not going to keep letting her scare the pup.
And she was only playing, but she'd not gotten to play with dogs.
Yeah,
So she was awkward
Yeah.
AF. She was just like didn't know how to play, so it seemed like she maybe was going to kill him, and he was not sure.
So we just got Cash out of there and put him right back with dogs because we don't want him to be scared of dogs, of course. But so with Boots and this other dog, you got to really make sure that one of them don't just want to play hard and the other one doesn't want to play. Either way, you know, they can still learn to hang together. You just slow the one dog down to the other dog's level. You can't always speed the one dog up, but you can slow the one dog down and let them hang out together.
Mm-hmm.
And so, all right, Bianca, I think I'm good right now.
Brianna and Andre, did you have any other thoughts or questions that you wanted to share?
I don't. I just want to say thank you for always supporting us and sharing your knowledge and wisdom around these topics. And I'm so glad that you know Boots, and it feels good to know that y'all are confident in Boots and confident in us to start this process. So.
Yeah, I've
thank
got
you so
confidence
much.
in the dog, and I've got confidence in y'all. If you got confidence in the other people.
And major pat on the back for you guys being in it for the long haul, because dogs can make such big progress over time when people don't rush it, and then they still want to keep going. So we applaud you for not just settling and wanting to make her better and better.
Yeah, Brett, and that's going to be on
It'll be on
Instagram.
Spotify.
On
Yeah.
Spotify,
Well,
on podcast.
Instagram too.
Yeah. And y'all go back and re-listen to it. I mean, I used to watch Gary Erickson's videos until I burnt the old VHS 25 years ago on how to buy another set. Then I burnt them up maybe and I've got them on CD.
Yeah.
But I listen to my own podcast going down the road sometimes. If I can't find one that I want to listen to, I'll listen to some of my own just to see what me and Bianca talked about and how nice Bianca used to be to me, you know. And just kind of sat there, and then now what I put up with, you know. It's fun to see that she's grown this much in her dog.
He may have some regrets in building my confidence.
Hey, no, it's just so fun for me to see how much Bianca's grown in her training, and you're thinking about training and yada, 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 you know. It's always fun to see somebody that lives that, you know. I mean,
when I met Boots, I was like, "You're gonna get that dog with dogs?"
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's fun to see how much you've grown over the years in the dog training world, and put up with people, you know. For me, the people's way harder than dogs. I've always said it, always will. But it's fun to see how much our business has grown.
That's also the rewarding part.
Yeah, and see how cool the people end up being, like y'all with Boots, you know. You took your time, and now you're ready to make that next step. And I'm ready for you. Me and Bianca both just excited to see you do it, and we just want to hear how it's going. And send us a video, you know, shoot one on the internet to us to let us see how your dog's doing. If you got any more questions, make sure you get a hold of us. So, all right, Brett. We're ready to get off here.
Yeah, I think we are.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you all so much. This was so helpful.
Enjoy your sunny weather.
Thanks. Enjoy the fall over there.
Yeah, it's raining.
All right. Bye-bye.